Hi, welcome to the Inner Labyrinth. Today's episode is going to be about incubation as this sacred space where you can play and grow something that you're nurturing. Right? I kind of feel like with this current state of things, with capitalism, with social media, there's often this push to share what you're creating right away. It's almost like you need to prove that you're productive. You need to prove that you're doing something when really nobody really needs to know everything. Nobody really needs to know every single new idea that you have because I feel like it's almost like a seed, right? It's this idea. For example, with the podcast, I had this idea for some time now, but I needed to nurture it. And even now, I am using discernment to choose who to share this podcast with, right? It's not like I've put it on my social media. It's not like I've told everybody on blast that I'm doing this because I feel like it's very close to my heart. It's new to me. I'm still experimenting. I'm still growing with it. And I don't really want to invite in any kind of energy that would not be conducive to my growth and to the way that this is going to become what it's going to become, right? I kind of feel like if I were to, for example, share this with everybody right now, I would feel that now I have an audience that cannot maybe hold who I'm becoming, what is right now. And that could invite in some distortion about how I'm viewed, how I'm being perceived. I think that would also feed into things like doubt. Then I would start to feel like, oh, I need to shift because these episodes are about this. And so I need to keep doing that because I have an audience now, right? But just because you have an audience doesn't mean that that audience is your people, right? They might not even be your people. They might just be people that have known you in your past lives, who you've been in college and school, different places you've lived in, acquaintances, friends of friends, strangers, right? People that are just watching. And that's fine. Everyone can watch because that's what sharing is, right? You consume, you share, you experience somebody else's experience or project. But I feel like with something that is close to your heart, something that has been calling to you have to listen to the essence of that thing and how it wants to be shared and exposed and distributed. For example, with the podcast, I only shared it with about 8 to 10 friends. And it was in a personal invite, right? A personal link, like, hey, check it out. Let me know what you think. And as of now, as of recording this in April 2025, I did not feel like sharing it on a bigger scale because it's still becoming, it's still growing, right? I feel like I've planted the seed and I'm watering it and I'm feeding it and I'm nurturing it. I'm giving it the sunlight, seeing what it needs, attuning to it, paying attention to it, seeing what feels right within me and how I want to navigate, how I want to move, what changes I want to do, what I want to talk about. There's still so much going on in this process. And it's almost like I'm getting this image of, when you have this small shoot, right, this little plant that's growing, you don't go ahead and just shove it out into the sunlight. You don't go ahead and just shove it out there like, hey, you got this, right? Like just depend on the rain. No, right? Let's say it's a tree. You would protect it. You would keep it under a certain shade. You would tend to it with more care, more attention because it's growing. It's tender. The trunk is tender. It's bendy, it's susceptible to the elements. It's susceptible to insects. It's more susceptible, right? It's almost like I don't want to say the word weaker, but it is more vulnerable, right? And I feel like that's the same exact thing with any creative endeavor. And eventually, when the time is right, you move that small little tree out because now it's not a small tree. Now it's a bigger tree. Now the trunk is sturdier. The pot doesn't really fit the roots anymore. You can tell that it needs more land to grow in. And then you put it out there, right? For example, this podcast, I'm sure that the natural evolution of it is going to be on a broader scale, right? Maybe marketed more, maybe just sharing myself more. But right now, at this point in time, it kind of feels like I'm still in this incubation period, right? I'm still protecting something, I'm still growing something. And I feel like it's liberating in that sense because right now it feels like, oh, nobody's really watching. Yeah, some people are watching, and that's nice. And thank you for being here. But it's not like I feel the pressure of, oh, I need to perform for you now. Like now you expect something from me. Now I need to perform for you. Now I need you to like me. Now I need you to approve of me. Do you like what I'm talking about? Like it's so much pressure. And I think it's unnecessary because the relationship is primarily between you and the project that you're doing. That's the primary relationship. The moment that that loses contact, you lose the essence of the project, you lose yourself, you lose your vision, you disconnect, and it can no longer grow because you were so busy trying to get approval from other people that might not even be your people. And I feel like there's wisdom in knowing when the incubation period is, when that sacred pause is, because it's so easy to kind of get seduced into this idea of, oh, I need to prove to people that I'm doing something. I need to prove to people that I'm someone. But no, you don't. And every single project has its own style too, right? I've definitely had seasons of my life where I had, for example, different podcasts or different YouTube channels. And I felt like blasting that on people, like being on Facebook and being on Instagram saying, hey, look at me, look at me. And it was awesome for that point in time, right? But I feel like, for example, with this, I kind of feel like, oh, it's for me. And with other things too, like doing music or playing in that, I also didn't blast that either. Like it was for me, for me and whoever happens to find it, for me and whoever I want to intimately connect with in that way. Because in a very real way, it is intimate. To create something, to have it come to fruition is such an intimate and powerful experience. And I feel like you don't really need extra eyes. You don't really need extra attention on something that's just now becoming, that's just now taking shape. It's also similar to a womb. A mother who has a baby who has a growing life in her belly, right? No one's looking, no one can see the baby, not even the mother. She can feel the baby, but she can't see the baby. The baby is unseen, the baby is untouched, right? It's in this incubation sacred space where it's forming, it's getting all of its parts, it's getting all of its pieces, it's getting everything that it needs to whenever it is birthed. Now it's a being. Yes, it still needs to be taken care of, but I feel like there is a time to be growing in silence. And just because other people cannot see the growth doesn't mean that it's not happening. And it doesn't mean that it's not real. It is real, right? I also feel like there's almost a sense of being left behind where you kind of feel like you need to push. It's almost like it becomes more about what people think about your content than the content itself and how you feel about it, right? Your vision, your connection to it. And I feel like you yourself will have to tune in to yourself in regards to whatever project you're starting as to how you want to share it, when you want to share it, who you want to share it with, right? It's all an experiment. And I feel like, yes, just trust yourself, trust your intuition, trust that inner knowing that says, hey, share with them. Hey, don't tell them. Hey, do tell them. Hey, share it on here. Don't share it on there. You're going to get the answers, right? But I would say to observe if you ever feel or have ever felt any pressure from yourself, from societal programming, from others to perform when you are not ready to share yourself in a specific way, right? Start to question yourself, start to reflect like, oh, how would I have done something differently? Or, oh, what did I learn from sharing myself in that specific way? How would I do that differently? Right. And there's no one size fits all. Each answer is going to be different for each project, for each person. So I would say tune into that for yourself and don't think that just because people aren't seeing it doesn't mean that it's not growing, doesn't mean that it's not happening, doesn't mean that it's not flourishing, doesn't mean that it's not becoming. It is. It is. And it's actually great that we don't have an audience. That's huge. It's great that we don't have people judging us, people putting expectations, that we don't have that kind of relationship just yet. Because yes, there is a time for that, but it doesn't have to be in the very beginning stages. In the very beginning stage of something is forming. And then eventually, yeah, you do put the tree out onto a large plot of land and you do still like water it, but eventually you don't really need to because the tree and the roots grow so deep and strong that they get the nourishment from nature itself, right? It can stand alone. But until that point, you cannot just put a little baby seed out there and expect the same exact thing. Don't water it, don't give it sunlight, don't even care about it, and it'll be fine. No, probably not. It probably needs a lot of care and attention in the beginning, right? So I would say honor the processes of becoming. And it also makes me think of, for example, the seasons, the winter season, right? It looks like nothing is happening, but so much is happening. So many things are hibernating, so many things are preparing. Where do you think the spring comes from? Right? It doesn't just come up out of nowhere. It only happens because winter happened, because the seeds were planted. Everything was in this standstill. Everything was incubating. And so when spring rolls around, when the rains come, all of a sudden all the flowers are shooting, everything is procreating, all these things are happening. Why? Because there was a moment of silence before. And I would say honor that moment of silence, honor that before stage, right? Don't feel like you need to become something or someone, or you are going to be whatever it is you're going to be, doing whatever it is you're going to do, and you're going to do your best job at it when you honor and nurture the relationship within you and that thing you're creating. Nurture that relationship. The more you feed that, the more that you get guidance onto what the right thing to do is. So I would invite for you to look within yourself. What are you growing in this moment in time that people don't need to know about yet? Where can you use your discernment to choose and figure out how you want to share yourself with the world. What is still becoming and what are you protecting, right? What are you protecting for now, right? What are you keeping to yourself and to some special other people? And what would it feel like to trust the silence, to trust this incubation period, to see it as a sacred space for becoming? I want for you to know that you are enough even when you are unseen, even when you're unseen. Even if no one's looking at you, even if no one's looking at this podcast, I'm looking at the podcast. So see your work in that same light. You yourself are a whole person. And if you get to be your own audience member, that's huge. If you yourself show interest in your own work, that's huge. I feel like it's very easy to think, oh, no one's looking at my work. Honey buns, are you not a person? Are you not a person that is actually putting energy into this work and then enjoying the fruits of that effort just by listening to it, just by learning through the process, just by getting to know yourself? You're one whole person. And I feel like divorce yourself from needing the validation of others to feel like you exist, because you exist, even when you're not seen. And you can see yourself, right? So honor that, nurture that. And thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning into this episode. If you feel called, please feel free to rate my show, to comment, to follow, and I will see you in the next time.